The Oval Office stood witness to a spectacle on February 28, 2025. Former President Donald Trump, having reclaimed the presidency in a stunning electoral victory, met with Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky. The atmosphere was thick with tension, a stark contrast to the usual diplomatic protocols. This meeting, however, was far from ordinary. It was the culmination of years of tumultuous relations, dating back to a controversial phone call in 2019, a call that would ultimately lead to Trump's first impeachment. Zelensky arrived in Washington with a heavy heart, his nation embroiled in a brutal war with Russia. The Ukrainian president had approached the meeting with cautious optimism. The Biden administration's support, while significant, had wavered in recent months. Trump, known for his unpredictable foreign policy, represented both a risk and a potential lifeline for war-torn Ukraine. The meeting, intended to reaffirm U.S. support for Ukraine, quickly devolved into a public spectacle, exposing the deep fissures in the relationship between the two leaders. The world watched in astonishment as diplomatic niceties crumbled under the weight of past grievances and present-day anxieties. This meeting, steeped in history and fraught with implications, would become a defining chapter in the turbulent Trump-Zelensky saga. The roots of the 2025 clash can be traced back to a fateful phone call on July 25, 2019. Then President Trump, in a conversation with the newly elected Zelensky, pressed for an investigation into his political rival Joe Biden and his son Hunter. Trump linked the requested investigation to the release of U.S. military aid, crucial for Ukraine's defense against Russian aggression. This quid pro quo sparked outrage in Washington. A whistleblower complaint alleging abuse of power by the president led to a full-blown impeachment inquiry. The House of Representatives in December 2019 impeached Trump on charges of abuse of power and obstruction of Congress. The Senate, however, acquitted him in February 2020, largely along party lines. The impeachment saga cast a long shadow over U.S.-Ukraine relations. It deepened the partisan divide in Washington and raised questions about the future of U.S. foreign policy. Zelensky, caught in the crosshairs of American politics, found himself navigating a treacherous path, balancing his country's need for U.S. support with the potential fallout from angering a volatile U.S. president. The February 2025 Oval Office meeting was, from the outset, a high-stakes encounter. Zelensky, desperate for continued U.S. support, sought reassurances from a newly inaugurated Trump. Trump, however, arrived with his own agenda, seemingly more focused on past grievances than on the ongoing war in Ukraine. The meeting quickly devolved into a public argument. Trump, according to sources familiar with the conversation, berated Zelensky, accusing him of ingratitude for U.S. aid and demanding concessions in peace negotiations with Russia. Zelensky, visibly frustrated, pushed back, defending his country's sacrifices and pleading for continued support. The heated exchange led to the cancellation of a planned joint press conference, an unprecedented move in modern diplomatic history. The public discord sent shockwaves through Washington and beyond. Trump, in a series of inflammatory posts on his social media platform, Truth Social, accused Zelensky of not being serious about peace and of using the war to weaken the United States. Zelensky, for his part, maintained a dignified silence, choosing to focus on rallying international support for Ukraine. The aftermath of the Oval Office meeting saw a flurry of accusations and counter-accusations. Trump's allies, led by Vice President J.D. Vance, accused Zelensky of being disrespectful to the United States and of exaggerating the need for continued aid. Fact-checkers, however, quickly debunked these claims, pointing to Zelensky's repeated expressions of gratitude for U.S. assistance and independent assessments of Ukraine's dire financial situation. The clash deepened the rift between the United States and Ukraine, leaving the future of the relationship uncertain. Some analysts argued that the meeting marked a turning point, signaling a shift in U.S. foreign policy towards isolationism and a disregard for democratic allies. Others, however, saw it as an aberration, a product of Trump's volatile personality rather than a reflection of broader U.S. policy. The Trump-Zelensky controversy, from the 2019 phone call to the 2025 Oval Office clash, has left an indelible mark on U.S.-Ukraine relations. It serves as a stark reminder of the fragility of international alliances and the potential consequences of domestic political polarization on the global stage. As the war in Ukraine rages on, the world watches, uncertain of what the future holds for these two countries and their tumultuous relationship.